We've got the all-new Chevrolet Equinox gas model.
Chevrolet's on a roll.
Look away, I'm hideous.
Ready?
Okay, hit it, Andrea.
Not bad.
Not bad. No,
Not bad.
not too noisy either.
No.
All right, there's a lot to talk about with this Equinox. Let's get into what's under the hood of this thing.
A 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder with 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. All-wheel drive models have an 8-speed automatic transmission, and front-wheel drive models as CVT.
The interesting thing is, even if you have an all-wheel drive model, you can run it manually, you can override it and put it in front-wheel drive all by yourself. So this is a new model for this year. What do you get with it? What are the key standard features?
The base model comes with an 11-inch digital driver display, an 11.3-inch touchscreen with Google built in, wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto, a 6-speaker audio system, heated front seats, cloth upholstery, a 6-way manual driver's seat, 4-way manual passenger seat, heated steering wheel, a manual liftgate, and Chevy Safety Assist.
So I'm just going to say it right off the beginning, Andrea. Color me impressed with all of the new Chevrolet products we've driven recently. We chose Trax as one of our top 10 vehicles last year.
Yep.
The Traverse might make it on the list of this year.
Never know. Don't give it away, Zach.
No, I'm not giving anything away. And this one is basically copy and paste. They're doing a lot right with all of them.
Oh, are they ever? I mean, I just can't believe how comfortable this whole driving experience is in the Equinox. Power is pretty good. Like, I know some of you have written in on Instagram and have said, you know, gosh, that horsepower number seems a little low. But you know what? This category...
It's torque. You want torque.
This category... There's not a ton of power unless you move up to a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, but Zach's right, it's the torque number. 203 pound-feet is what you're looking for.
And it's got an 8-speed automatic transmission, and there's another Korean car we're driving this week, the Tucson with an 8-speed, and it's slow, it's laggy, doesn't downshift well. This one is well sorted, it does all of that well. So the drivability day to day is really good and really comfortable as well. We're going to talk about the inside in a moment. But yeah, the steering isn't overboosted.
Nope.
It's really improved.
And I think that it really comes down to how things all work together, how it's tuned. And you've got this 8-speed automatic transmission that's smooth, it shifts quickly, and overall, I think you will be impressed with it if you just give it a shot.
That's a big one. That's a big hurdle for Chevrolet. A lot of people just don't think of this brand, but that's why we like to talk about them, because we have been impressed over the last couple of years.
As you saw off the top, acceleration from a stoplight is quite good. I was going to say sufficient, but I'm going to take it a little bit further and say it's better than sufficient. Maneuverability is good. Turning radius in those tight spots in the city, very good. Okay, we're going to do an acceleration test now. We're on the highway.
All right, before we do that, what are we going to put it in?
Got to put it in S for subscribe. And if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, Andrea, foot to the floor, let's go. It's a little bit of a delay with the down kick.
Pretty good. This comes standard with active noise cancellation. So the cabin, you know, with all of these vehicles in this class, when you kick it, everything gets a little bit louder, but I would say this is pretty good.
Okay, the cabin I think is pretty quiet with wind noise. What I'm hearing on this one is the active model, and it has the all-terrain tires. The tires are a little bit drony. If I was going to buy this vehicle, I would change the tires or get a different trim without the all-terrain tires. That's the only thing about this vehicle that I don't like. I find these tires a little bit noisy.
I know, and I really love the look of the active trim, especially this cacti green color with the white roof and the white mirror caps. But these 18-inch all-terrain tires are not my favorite either.
I wish they would have another tire like we like those Yokohama Geolander tires that Subaru uses. They're really quiet. The thing is, Andrea, you can get a similar look to this with the LT model. You can get the green, and you're not going to get these tires. So that's maybe one way to get around it.
What a difference compared to the previous model. This is definitely bold and rugged looking. kind of has a bit of a RAV4 vibe to it.
Yeah, especially with this color combination. They have their wilderness outdoor, what's it called? Trail one that looks kind of adventure, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Outdoorsy, how's that? The thing is, Andrea, I was previewing the footage that we shot the other day of you driving by, and I see it now. It's basically a shrunk down version of Traverse, and they're leaning into the pickup truck world and their suburban Tahoe world with the grill and the front, and basically shrinking it down for all their different products. And this looks good, and I do see some RAV4 influence as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the key with Chevrolet, is that they've picked up on the fact that people want a rugged design. Look at the new Honda Passport that's come out. People are like losing their mind over the rugged design.
Yeah.
So way to go, Chevrolet, for picking an exterior on all their models that looks really good.
People like the idea of being able to go somewhere, but they never do.
No. The Equinox comes standard with LED headlamps, LED tail lamps, body-colored mirror caps, heated power outside mirrors, 17-inch wheels, available 19-inch wheels, and a temporary spare tire. There's also available fog lamps. If you're looking for a sportier Equinox model, go for the RS trim with black exterior accents, RS badging, 19-inch wheels, available 20-inch, and a two-tone roof is an option. There's also a midnight edition package if you want it all blacked out, or what some people say, murdered out.
Murdered out, huh?
Murdered.
All right, so you know what? This is something that really surprised me. I picked this up and I got inside and I'm like, wow, I like the way it looks on the outside. I really like this interior. And just doing deviated colors like this with this dash pad with the same color as the seats, it's just like, mwah, they did a fantastic job.
Lots of great details in here. I'm impressed with the tech. You've got an 11-inch digital driver display, which is standard, an 11.3-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto. And some of you may say, what? I thought GM got rid of wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto only on the EVs. The gas model still gets it.
Equinox Gas gets it, Equinox EV does not. And then you look at the way that they've put it together, it looks way better than the old model with some contrasting materials, which is really what makes it go a long way. So you've got sort of the aluminum here, you've got a gray and tan dash pad, but there's still some shiny hard plastic, but it's not horribly done.
The interior is called maple sugar.
Nice.
And I just like all the little details in here with the leatherette with the black, and then you've got this, it's like a microfiber faux suede material that is so soft to the touch. I really like it as well, and it's nice to have a color instead of it all being black. Storage in here is fantastic. You've got the wireless charger at the front of the cup holders, but you've got another tray in front of that. You've got a floating center console with a large tray at the bottom for a purse or snacks, and then this is even impressive. You've got a tray here, but it's so deep for so many items that you can hide away.
You know what I talked about, you can get the same color on the outside and get around the all-terrain tires if you do the LT, and then you can add a package which gets you a lot of the features that are in this car. However, what you don't get on that trim is this color interior.
I know.
You get a deviating color, but it's gray and black. So that's the only downside. So probably for me, Andrea, I would get this and I'd change the tires.
There you go. You could easily do that. The seats are very comfortable. There's lots of support, including your thighs. It's not a short seat, which is nice to see. And I even like the air vents. You know, it's kind of a Mercedes-Benz style. You see that in some of Chevy's EVs as well. I just think the whole interior is very modern and, you know, bordering on kind of cool looking.
Yeah, I like it. I think they've done a great job.
Now, the panoramic sunroof is an option. It's an extra. But if you do add it, it comes with a sunshade, and then it tilts and it opens almost all the way to here. Sometimes you don't see that with some vehicles in this class.
All right, let's get into available features. You can get 8-way power front seats with lumbar support, driver seat memory, including the mirrors, ventilated front seats, HD surround vision, a wireless charger, and heated rear seats and a power liftgate. Well, here's me getting in the back seat. This is a comfortable back seat, good leg room, good headroom.
Comparing the Equinox to the Nissan Rogue, the Equinox has 40.9 inches of front row legroom, which is about half an inch less space than the Rogue. Second row legroom at 39.9 inches is 1.5 inches larger than the Nissan.
Opening up the liftgate on this, it's power operated, and you see a nice useful cargo area. When you lift up the bottom, there's more storage there, but I dug even deeper, Andrea. Under there, it's hidden, but it's there, is a temporary spare tire.
Overall cargo space at 63.5 cubic feet, and space behind the second row at 29.8 cubic feet is smaller than the Rogue. What I really like about the Equinox, and you don't see this very often, is that it has a flat floor in the gas model. Another vehicle that offers that in the premium category is the Acura RDX.
All right, let's get into your questions. You know hybrids getting asked, right?
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Do you think this refresh one can go toe-to-toe with popular brands like Toyota and Honda, non-hybrid ones? Can Chevy take on the reliability champions of the market?
Absolutely they can, and they have. I was looking at J.D. Power 3-year dependability study, and in the past, the Equinox has been the #1 most reliable after 3 years. Now, a lot of people are going to go, but Jack, what about 100,000 miles? That's the only information we have. Outperforming some of those other brands.
I also think as brands like a model like the Equinox that stayed in the market for a longer period of time, they do become more reliable than when they are first released. But look at Honda, for example, and you're talking about solid reliability, but Honda has its problems as well. You look at the CR-V hybrid right now, and there's 3 recalls on it. There's a sticky steering situation, which affects other models besides the CR-V. And then you look at Toyota with their RAV4. Well, yes, very reliable vehicle, but it's also been in the market for a very long time. Toyota with their newer vehicles are having some issues with reliability as well.
The new drivetrains they've come out with. But then you look at this interior and what you get for your money. This is a great, if you're worried about that, it's a great lease, right? You lease it for 3 or 4 years, keep it under warranty. If you love it after that, keep it. If not, you can move on.
I got to tell you, it feels really solid. I mean, I am impressed with this vehicle. It looks less plastic fantastic than the previous model. What do you think of the interior compared to the interiors from Hyundai and Kia?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because we have the Hyundai Tucson this week, and Andrea and I, given our choice, would take this one over that out every time. I'm not speaking for you. You say if you agree with me.
I did, yeah.
10 out of 10 times, would you take this out of over the Tucson?
I would, and the Tucson gas model in Canada, not in the US because there's more trims available, is missing a ton of features. If you actually have to go up to the Tucson hybrid or plug-in hybrid to get features like a power passenger seat with a height adjustment. For some people, they might want all the bells and whistles that this offers. I also love this interior color.
Yes.
In a sea of black interiors.
Yeah, especially you talked about the CR-V with everything's black. I'm really impressed. I'm colorably impressed with this. It comes standard with the screens, comes standard with good looks on the outside. I mean, I'd be happy to drive this every day. That's the way I look at it.
I feel the exact same way.
So if you want to get a question in for Questions, Coffee, and Cars, follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes and to get a question in. If you want to follow me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button.
I test drove it, drives well, lots of features for the price, even with the base model. I'd say the only con is not having a hybrid version.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know what they have over there at Chevrolet, Andrea? What do they have?
They've got an EV Equinox.
We're going to talk about that in a moment in our hot topic. But the thing is that, yes, the fuel economy on this is not great, especially in the city. We're going to compare it to other turbocharged compact utilities. So the CR-V with a 1.5 turbo, just like this, and the Rogue with a 3-cylinder turbo, also with a CVT, get better fuel economy, but one gets worse. That's turbocharged.
Yeah, the Tiguan is also turbocharged, but it gets worse fuel economy. That city number doesn't look good for Tiguan either. I agree with you. We need a hybrid from Chevrolet. And when we were on an event, I think it was the Traverse, I spoke to one of the engineers about this. Now, He said that they are working on something, and if the demand is there, then maybe a hybrid will come to market. And we can definitely see that the demand is there.
They used to have a hybrid. They could modify that and bring it back.
I'd like to see it.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Would you take this, or for a few grand more, get the much nicer Equinox EV?
So Chevrolet does not have a hybrid, well, at least not yet, but they do have an Equinox EV, which is nothing like this. And I would disagree with the comment that it's nicer. I think this is nicer on the inside because we just drove the Equinox EV last week.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is nicer, but you're right about the price, especially since there is no hybrid option and you're looking at fuel economy of this model. In the US, believe it or not, the LT model for the Equinox EV all-wheel drive is less than this model all-wheel drive in the US. In Canada, it is a little bit more, but once you add in the federal EV rebate of $5,000 and any rebates in participating provinces, you can bring that EV down quite low. So Chevy is pretty competitive with their electric vehicles.
And that's what we've been harping on about EVs. If you want people to buy EVs, they have to be price competitive. And congrats, Chevrolet, you've come out with price competitive EVs. You go into the dealer, you look at the gas and you look at the EV, you factor in a rebate, and the EV's cheaper. That's how you move EVs.
And then also, if you decide that you're going to lease the EV, boy, I think the interest rates too are quite low on that. That maybe if you're looking at monthly payments, the EV just may be more affordable for you.
All right, let's get into the vital stats of this. We talked about it. City fuel economy, not that great.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then we'll move on to the US. The base front-wheel drive model starts at just over $35,500, and this top trim active all-wheel drive is just over $42,500. In the US, the LT front-wheel drive starts at just under $30,000, and the active all-wheel drive is just under $36,500.
Here's the all-wheel drive fuel economy. Just 10 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 8.2 on the highway. That's only 23 miles per gallon in the city, 29 on the highway. The all-wheel drive model can tow 1,500 pounds, and the front-wheel drive model just 800 pounds. Chevrolet will offer an accessory trailering package with anticipated availability in July of 2025. The warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, 36,000 miles. In the United States, complimentary maintenance covers 1 maintenance visit. This Equinox is up against some heavy hitters. What else can you buy?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Subaru Forester with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 180 horsepower, and a starting price of $36,000.
The king of this category is the Toyota RAV4 with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 203 horsepower, and a starting price of $36,500.
The Nissan Rogue with a 1.5-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder, 201 horsepower, and a starting price of $36,500.
The CR-V with a 1.5 turbo 4-cylinder, 190 horsepower, and an all-wheel drive starting price of just over $40,500.
So there are 4 compact SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I like the redesign. That exterior looks great.
I like the redesign. This interior looks great.
I'd love to see a hybrid. We need better fuel economy for this model.
And I wish they had a quieter all-terrain tire. Other than that, I like this a lot. Andrea, we're in the Equinox. What do you guys think of that?
Thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.